again. Buckle up. Adjust something here. Like that. A little bit. See what we got. Plenty of some of the stuff. All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Still need a little higher. At least I think I do. Got a wife. Got it. Right. All right, here, and a lot of wives would love to do this. All right, or wife material. I don't mean that derogatory. Women that want to be wives. So I bought a belt clip from Amazon. It worked pretty good. I put it on the back of my iRig Pre, the analog version that goes into my wireless Go. Little thingy thing. So I'm trying to do my Kadoosh project while I'm trying to get everything ready here. Because what's happening is I'm in the middle of packing while doing this, while trying to get ready for the inspection. I got no idea what it is. I guess they pre-inspect to let you know what gigs you have to work off. Right. I thought it was the office. It's maintenance. I've been through a couple of maintenance, like leak inspections, or I guess biannual inspections. But like I'm hearing from something, and it says if they give you a bill, you don't have to pay it. You don't have to agree to it. You can, say I'll work the gigs off. Because that somebody finds it strange. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they just tell you what it is, right? Unless it's something like a big hole in the wall, right? What the thing is saying, like it could be a scam, like oh, you owe us this money, seeing if you'll pay it, right? But I don't think so. Yeah, stuffed up on the ground. It's them. They don't just live in my head. They live in my house, inside, with their spirit, Just try to clean that. That thing, the AC thing, the closet with the vented door. I'm trying to, like, when I was doing the prayer stuff, they put me on mailing lists. I'm trying to reduce those and get rid of them because I'm moving, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I have no idea where I'm going. Like, if they had a low enough month-to-month rent here, I'd actually stay and pay a couple $100 extra. Because I don't think, it's still a little bit warm. I want it to be a little cooler when I move. Right. But I might just go, leave stuff in storage. The Ark is going to go with A, no matter what. Or parts of it. See, that's part of what they're doing. They get paid to have the Ark destroyed. LDS is actually a good place to do this. I'm not pointing at the quorum of 12, but because of you can develop a supremacist ideology out of it, right? Where it doesn't matter because they're just the apostates and the sinners, right? And the quorum of 12, they work to neutralize that, but they're way up, where I'm supposed to be, like hanging out with them and tell them what I see every day. Hopefully somebody else tells them what I see every day. I helped the LDS Church before I ever even thought of maybe going to Salt Lake City. I used to heal the missionaries all the time. Back then, I had more power on the earth. They've been like chipping away at it for years. It's just sad because I know what's going on, and I see all these women that get in trouble, and I know if they were with me, I could steer them away. I could keep them healed and steer away from it. So again, I could heal her, and she could heal me, and it would work great. There's women here that are my friends from heaven, like from the place before here. I don't see them all. Look familiar. Like the woman in Home Depot, she looked familiar. I don't know who she is, but She acknowledged me. I don't know what she said. I could just kind of like paying attention that much, and she said something. I mean, sound like a greeting or something. Right. Well, the higher you are up, like, because you go down, you go up, you go down. Because they're like, I'd stay up if they weren't doing this. Right. Like in this, the 3HO people knew that part because they said keep up. They have things like, they have like words like keep up, you know. I would say, like, my own thing was keep up, don't get left behind, just to trigger Christians. Yeah. Well, not everybody in 3HO is a devil, but they're not going to buck that system, especially if it's a dangerous sex cult. Yeah, so again, that was, they're happy, healthy, and holy, and they left out whorish. It's real. They were backed by CIA. The only reason nothing ever happened. Mr. Brennan and all those. Right. Where would they send this stuff? I like to spoil it. You're pre-approved for a loan, I don't want, who knows? Especially in my life, they could all be deep state. Well, when he throws it away, we'll grab it. and we'll bankrupt him. Apply for a $50,000 loan in his name. Deep state. Time to shred. Got the industrial size shredder on. There goes the loan application. Yeah, you gotta make sure agents, active agents, especially anybody on the ICE task force or with ICE, need to use a shredder. Okay. So again, if like a new agent processes in or a new employee, you should suggest that. Maybe you can get them, maybe you can get them a deal or something. Work out a deal. Like, who was I talking about recently? Contact somebody. Deal. Some kind of security. Because government gets, they get deals. Oh, is that sheriff, right? Right. And they may even actually have old equipment that they can pass along. Because what happens is, when they replace their equipment, it's just sitting there. And for a sheriff to get an X-ray machine for free, even though if it's 5 years old, if it's it's probably in great working order, and they'll get it in great working order. Who we gave it to somebody. I can't remember who we gave something. I took when we got a new one, I kept the old one, and we would use it in front of the courtrooms that were high threat trials. That was my baby. Right? It didn't exist before me. They're still trying to make money off of Charles Stanley. I was like, is he still alive? I think it's like CBN or something. They still have In Touch Ministries and Charles Stanley on the front. Hey, he was a cool dude. Did he cheat on his wife or he divorced or something? There's something that happened where they got all stupid. Right. Reading all the mail for now. All right, what's this? You know what I hate? When I tell them not to send me anything, like, everything electronic. I gotta tell City not to send this, especially if I go into an extended stay. Or tell them again. I usually tell them not. What is this? Yeah, they thought I had bacterial sinus issues, but he prescribed hydrochlorothiazide for high blood pressure. But the problem was, everybody does it, but the problem is that that's not a good blood pressure medicine because it can affect clearing of the sinus. Right. I just found my paperwork from like November or some shit. Well, if you want me to use a different language, then you let me wire into some other place other than hell. Or hell on earth, as they call it. Right. Thank you, Larry. I know how it works because I've seen it. I've studied myself, my own behavior based upon wiring and non-wiring. And thank you, Larry. Yeah, I still don't. I wish they would give you these coupons in your like these coupons on the receipt. I don't think CVS puts them in your account. They should put it in your account, then you can use it. But again, then everybody would probably use it. More expensive for them because they actually do great. CVS is actually the greatest deal going. I don't know how rich they are, but I mean they're probably filthy rich, right? Nice. Paint this. Outside and take a look here what we got going on. I have to put another coat of paint on this. Getting there. Can't be spending too much more. I'll have to leave it the way it is. But this isn't the final project. I don't believe. I believe that this is just I'm going to use it for Kadoosh tomorrow. By the following Friday, I'll have figured something else out. Right. Thing says right. Well, I got to call Blue Cross Blue Shield soon and make sure my accounts are going in the right direction. I received some stuff that people submitted wrong information. Stay on top of that. I feel like when I move out, I start shredding excess papers, just like when I left the Marshal Service. And you should too. Shred everything. Don't take anything with you, Trump. You don't need it. What are mementos? Mementos from hell. So again, you can investigate Matt Drudge and others if you use them and taught them spycraft, tradecraft, and they're using it against the administration. I mean, enough's enough. That's what's going on. They're all brought in and they're taught tradecraft, and next thing you know, they're killing Americans with tradecraft. Thank you. And using undocumented immigrants to do it. I still believe that part of what was running in Santa Fe, New Mexico, was rogue Mexican intelligence officers. Right. That's, I believe, part of what went on. So they have a hit list. you see. And they use all these immigrants to effectuate the hit list from, Mexico's not innocent. There's a Mexican government, there's intelligence people killing people in our country or screwing them up or messing up their life so they can't get somewhere to stop the fentanyl. So you need to discover where these intelligence operators. That's the scam, and I told you that years ago. I was the first one to tell you everything. Foreign intelligence operators are the operators that our corrupt deep state use to take out Americans. It used to be Five Eyes now, and then they turned into Five Lies. Right. Doing, Larry. Johnson County sent me a plate renewal. I have to get all this done. This is really in the middle of my life. I have to renew it, and I'm going to get another plate because my plate's ruined, and I want to keep it for posterity because it's such a nice plate. Illinois 1. I may not be able to get it in my next state. In Texas, I had Great I Am. That was worth money. Could have sold that if I hung on to it. Right. Well, I think GRT, I am. I have no idea why they let anybody kill me down there. It makes no sense. I think Gomar had something to do with it. That's why he's gone. Nah, I think Gomar was deep state. I mean, it's shocking, right? That's the damn deep state MO. That's what I was trying to tell you. So again, when I'm speaking about people around you, remember Gomar? Gomar was deep state. And then he was your buddies, right? He was your buddy, right? Right. Thanks, Larry. They tried to set me up, but I went, I kind of, what do they call that? I stopped all relationship when it looked kind of screwy. Right. As soon as I saw the deep state move, I'm like, out of here. Later, Gomer. Handle your own mess now. Right. I mean, they'll take help from you until you're dead, right? And not help you one bit and work against you. That's how bad the deep state is. I'm going to light some incense out of here. Yeah, I'll get to the candles eventually. I think it's going to be an evening service tonight. I think the Lord might want me to let the candles burn through the night for the clay lamps. I have a double Sabbath. I've seen that, but I wonder what day it is in Jewish history. I gotta look at that. So I finally had the presence enough to realize that I need to paint the marble with like a clear coat before I use it. Now, any of the maybe I'll actually bleach it and whiten it up, but any of the discoloration is actually from religious service, so that's kind of a mitzvah kind of darkening of the white. Olive oil, incense, a little bit of charcoal from the wick of the lamps. Boy, I love this fragrance. An Indian incense, but it's what they call it, kana. It's that fragrant reed in the Ketteret. Came from India, but it has other incense in it. But that's the base. They call it dragon's blood nowadays because I guess that's the end thing. But it's actually, I think they call it kana. But you have to make sure because when I studied this brand, I think it said that it was essentially the same. Not all dragon's blood is the same. I mean, this weather is just too warm. Now I know exactly what happened. If I'd have stayed in the gym, obviously if I stayed in massage, but if I stayed in the gym even without massage, I'd have been well. Because my back just is forming the way it used to be when I was in Santa Fe, but when I was going to the gym. Now they got me. They were able to move all my food, change my supplements. And some of it was just, like from spells, because doctors were like, well, I don't know if you should be taking that. And I need aspirin. And I don't have a problem. Aspirin doesn't mess my stomach up. It's other things. Actually, now my stomach isn't that messed up, probably because my neurology is returning to a little bit of normal. But again, they got me for a good, 7 years, real bad, 8 years, real bad. I mean, the whole time they were doing it. So I'm not going to. I don't, with them, you don't say stuff like that because I'm like, oh, that means we only got them for 7 to 8 years. Buckle road. No, it's like shifting into EBDBD. It's something else. I can't even do it now. I got to go listen to it online. I don't know that. They said thank you. I'm looking for my incense thingy. Actually, I think it's a cue. I'm supposed to use this like a smudge around my apartment. Get all the witches, the spirit of the witches out of here. All the corrupt deep state agents are living in my apartment. Spirit. Right. So I can tell by what I forget her name. Oh yeah, it's Emiliano Zapata's, what's that name? Salazar. Mrs. Salazar, I guess, or Miss Congresswoman Salazar, Senator Salazar. I don't know what's. I guess it's Congress. Right. I think she's getting the buzz that they're not receptive. Right. So she changed kind of her, her approach a little. So again, the first thing is you shouldn't have called it the dignity, because that insinuates that the administration is doing something undignified. So you messed up right there. I understand what your concept is, but it's not working. Then the other part was, I'm not going to say they're not going to accept anything, but then the other part was that something said that the spirit said that, or the spirits say that it has to be shored up because they'll game the system. So we need more power. Again, ICE will probably agree. They need more power, specific power, and specific requirements, that kind of thing. Just like, if they lie and run, that should be it. No questions asked. Well, it might need to be in writing. Right. Well, once you give it to them, they have no, once, I know there's a system, you have to, 7 years or whatever, but it just needs to be more specific that things can be revoked for specific things. Because, right, you get into the court and they go, well, right, they were told that they were, this is what happened with DACA. That's why they're like that, why that's happened. Because with DACA, they said, well, you promised them something. Right, they made plans. Right. So, kind of like want to, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. They didn't fool me. I mean, it's just you have to try to live your life, and it's a complete corruption. It's not like a little corrupt what they do to me. It's completely corrupt. There's no way to live your life. All right, so see what we got here. I don't know if I'm gonna have to call these people and try to get off their mailing list. I thought I told Unity no more anything. They might go in and hack it. It might not be Unity's fault. They want to be angry at Unity, so this is how they do it. This is one of their PSYOP, patterns of their PSYOP. So I tell Unity, don't send me anything in the mail. They want me to be angry at Unity, so while they're stressing me out with their PSYOP and their fake women trying to turn me on and all that, and eventually, if I stay to be kids and all that, right? They no, a child that you tell to be part of an operation where you turn men on or attract a man. We'll see if you can attract the man. You're starting their mind to think their will might be for the man to be attracted. So the only thing that inside of them that can actually do that is their sexuality, their will to be sexual to that man or to that woman. You have it's Pandora's box all of it. I mean, the kid may not feel sexual, but I bet you the kid starts being active sexually, at least self-sexually at a certain point, if they keep doing that. And I've been told yes. The deep state won't tell on itself and the people that they use because they don't want to end up in a life like mine. Right? So if a kid gets screwed up or a kid gets hurt, they just go, well, that's how we make money, It's just like Joe Biden touching, that, I don't remember what their rank was in the government. It was a congressman or a senator. But remember the kid, the girl, and she's getting away from him? And the wife, you're touching the wife, and they know that's part of the game. They're not going to turn Biden in because Biden's going to make them multimillionaires and keep them multimillionaires, and they'll never go to jail. Right. Right. No, kids have been raped and killed on that kind of thing. And some of it's unofficial. So it's on the side. Nobody knows it's a bait kid. Right. So, and some of those things where somebody gets out of a car and pops somebody, some of those people were deep state. Private sector contracts. Right. Because they were stalking one of the victims. Dude or woman freaked out and killed them. But nobody's allowed to say anything. The deep state code. Right? I mean, they're actually, it really is it's kind of, but okay, here's an example. Here's the reality. And this is why this came up the other day with me and Hot Jim. We were talking about it. So they're really lucky. They don't know what it's like to live a regular life. They call it blessed, but it's Satan. Right. So they're so lucky that they never think that somebody would actually shoot them. Right? And kill them. And when it happens, nobody's allowed to say anything. I mean, you can badmouth the target, but you can't. You can't say it was, we were pushing the target's buttons so the target would freak out. Like John Luna, killed himself, but some people kill other people before they kill themselves. That's what they wish I would do. They're so frustrated. So frustrated. Macaron. It's in Russia or something, I guess. We could be friends with people like that. We don't have to be at odds. Phil, back on. No, I'd had a great life. All I needed was a wife. I would have had a great life. It wouldn't have went the way the first marriage went. But again, I everything that went wrong for my wife, I attribute to the deep state spells. They killed her. They killed her just so that she could move. Like they could be her friend and move her against me. Right. Marshal Service violated the rights of my family, my right to privacy, and everything else. Right. But they knew I figured it out. I figured out like the part that they didn't, that could be damaging to all of them. I didn't know the deep state existed, and I didn't think it was government at first. Right. At a certain point, I realized it was intelligence, had to be intelligence operators in it. My neighbor was an intelligence operator. I couldn't fully investigate him. I could look. Right. At a certain point, he was divorcing his wife. And he was the guy who got work for, what are they called again? Are they even contractors anymore? Hamilton, was it? Something, Booz Allen Hamilton, right? He was a Booz Allen Hamilton guy. But when he left his wife, and I think there was allegations of another woman, that's a deep state thing. I think he got in. I think that's when he began his deep state thing. Right. So I'll set you up in a new life. Right. Thank you, Larry. Thanks, Larry. Yeah, the last time I talked to him, I couldn't trust him all that much, I believed. Right. And then I knew the other intelligent. They were like in a Scottish pipe band, and he asked me to be the adjutant at the American Legion. I did that for a season, but that's part of the depletion. I mean, it was part of the depletion, really. I had so much going on, I didn't need to be that. All right. But the other guy that was a former Marine or something, former Marine, he, when I left his house one time, all these black vehicles came, but I was drugged. At that point, I knew I was drugged. So I went and visited them, an older couple, I was just doing that visit thing and being friendly, right? And then when I left this place, all these black vehicles pulled up a street. And, I really didn't care all that much, but I knew that was a sign that the deep state was about. And I didn't want him to have any trouble, so I just I don't think I ever saw him again after that. That's the other part. Do you want to really, you don't, because you don't want to get to the point where they're doing something corrupt just because they're your friend, Right. You want to have some respect for not having that. He said he would, when he he was like a Marine reservist at that point. I don't know if he was anything other than a reservist, but he was so high up that he would kind of have a blank check. He would go over for Cobra Gold and set up Cobra Gold with an advanced party team, and they kind of had not a blank check, but they had authority to spend a lot of money. He was an intelligent guy. But his wife, the one guy's wife, was in the 80s, was one of the airline, what are they called? A flight attendant that did the CIA gig. I think that's where they met, maybe. She was doing the flight attendant thing, or maybe they were already married. I don't know. I don't know if she was Navy intelligence, but I don't remember what she was. Right. I mean, maybe I don't even know what she Maybe I'm not allowed to know what she was. No, I was probably in before that. That's not, they probably vouched for me at a certain point. Right. But I was in as a child. Right. I don't know exactly how, but my mind travels. People hear me and they put me in. I don't know who, what, when, where, or why, but. That's what it was. That's part of what it was about. Like, again, it's Satan, but part of it is killing me so I'd never be in the CIA. Right? All chump change because you're supposed to do certain things to make sure that doesn't like your system's broken. There's no protection, but for your scammer. No, I didn't have any CIA thoughts until after my life was ruined and I was out of the government. Then I figured it out. Right. Because I started waking up. Right. So I actually tried to rule him for being involved in my life. Right. Tried to take me out. But after I got out of the government, when I figured it out, I was a boss and all this other stuff. That's why they didn't like me, because apparently, when they were doing crazy shit, it wouldn't work out for them. Yeah, right. And they figured they had to get rid of me if they were going to go back to situation normal, all corrupt. Right. Because my inside was big. So what they do is they false witness you until they can finally destroy you, and then something comes up. Right. Oh, the Marster is a piece of shit. Justice Department never end me. Right. Now I did the U.S. Army, or I'd have been awake. That's how you wake up. You get in, connect to their system, and then you wake up. So when I left their system completely, and they couldn't curse me every day, God woke me up. So you'd go to work. All those years I was in the Justice Department, they cursed me every day. I didn't know that. That's their gift to me, right? All right, Chase, what you need to do looks like synchronies. So what you need to do is you need to have the early account thing. I know what you might want to do is increase the amount of direct deposit that's required for the bonus while giving early payday. That's what everybody wants. That's what I mean. It's a big bank, but that's what's holding them up. Well, you have like Chase has one of the lowest bonus requirements. It's like $500 of direct deposit, and they give you like $300. But people, right? But if you would increase that, let me see here. Okay, they have the savings is 15,000. Right. What else? Yeah. Yeah, they're not too. But if you increase it, like if you have $3,000 or $4,000 of direct deposit, and then you give them the early payday option also. Right. Right now, it for a regular payday, it's the best deal going generally. It's like they require $500 in 90 days or something for direct deposit. Right. I mean, maybe you can even do an allotment. I don't know if they'd accept. I guess they would, a direct deposit, right? So you could actually even just siphon off a portion of your check. So I could take $500 and just and get $300. Macaron. I have to listen to it again so I can emulate it. Beep. What happened? I gotta actually report that to them tomorrow. If I open my door, from the humidity, I guess, and the heat, the fire alarms start beeping, like the battery's low. But then if I shut the door, it doesn't do it. That's weird. Very weird. Macaron. I can't stand this weather. Like nasty. So humid. Whole country, I guess. But see, like you go to the places like Santa Fe was good is good weather. Colorado Springs is good weather. I messed up not jumping from here to Colorado Springs. I was already here, and I was getting ready to go to Colorado Springs. I just couldn't. They were actually most likely willed me down until I still hadn't figured all that out. If I figured it out, I would have made it to Colorado Springs. I'd probably be much healthier for it because it just doesn't get that hot in the summer. It's like Santa Fe. It stays in the 80s, right? Wasn't a ton of housing options, but it looked like it would have been a successful. I think Aurora, what happened in Aurora, Colorado, kind of turned me off to Colorado. Right? They're so cool. I got this one still. Extra play lamp. I'm trying to say this sorry. Yeah, get him! He fell for it. Ah! Oh, devils, man. They're real devils. Really, I wish I was in Hollywood. I wish I was in that culture where they make the animated things and all that. Because I could do the inside world, the afterlife, the devils. I could have created great films. Right? Instead of stupid horror films, I could do reality horror films. I was probably on my way. They just killed me, right? So Satan was at first. Satan was watching, then they started for Satan because it became more difficult to block anything in my life or block everything. So now I was a little kid. I'd do Charlie Chaplin imitations, and I'd make I would do cosplay kind of acting. And I'd make it out of aluminum foil and other stuff. So I was like the original cosplay dude. All right. But I do Charlie Chaplin, a bunch of other acting. Oh, I do Hunchback of Notre Dame. I do what that thing was. I mean, that was a hunchback, I think. But see, this gets my brothers jealous. I figured out they killed me too. Right. My brother's still killing me. He's completely disappeared. He knows I got to get out of here, and I'm thinking of going to Philadelphia. He's totally gone. They probably did something to him, and he doesn't want me there now. You see, he's a wacko. The deep state, he'll go completely the opposite direction. But when I don't do that, I helped him. I helped my mother. When I was younger, I helped him move out. My mother said, "Well, you can take that. He's going to be in Ireland for so many years." So he gets back from Ireland, and he starts blaming me and my wife for stuff that's missing in his storage. We went into his house. He didn't pay me all that much. My brother's rather thrifty. And we went into his house, and we're cleaning it. We're taking everything that was in his house out. I don't know if he was selling it. I can't remember why we were in there. And my mother was like, "Well, I gave that to your brother. You can have it now because he's not going to need it." Because my mother worked in a model home, and she would get when they closed the model home. If you're there, you can ask for some of the furniture, and they approve the furniture for next to nothing. So my mother was like, "You can have it." I gave it to him, and then he blames us. Well, my wife was livid because we spent so much time. It really burned us out. We had little kids and everything back then. I'm like, what? I talked to Mom. She said, "Take this." I gave it to him. And he's got plenty of money. Always did, Right. he has no clue. He's another person spoon-fed life. And my parents really took care of me. Oh, yeah, I remember that teacher's name. Remember I told you I ended up going to summer school one time, and I was in gym summer school, and I'm lifting weights, and I'm running, and I'm like, it's the first time in my life that because again, this is the idea. I didn't know back then, but I wasn't in the regular school. There's certain people who curse at me. Right? It's all part of the same system, and this teacher D'Angelo is part of it too. He's a devil. So, so I'm like thinking like my self-esteem's rising and all this because I'm thinking this is great. I'm running because the regular gym is BS. When you go to summer school, BS. Summer school gym is real. Right. And then all the people cursing you are no longer there. Right. So I'm like excelling. And he walks up to me while I'm in the middle of the class. And I'm like, but I'm lifting weights. I'm doing like what I'm supposed to do. And he walks up to me and like essentially calls me a piece of shit. He said how wonderful my brothers are. And I'm like, yeah. What do my brothers? And you know what? Look at our lives. What do my brothers do for anybody? Nothing, right? They're not like they don't do mitzvah. Thank you, Larry. But he's a devil. Satan sent him. Why couldn't it be God? Because Satan sent him. Okay, let's not hear that church bullshit's got to go. Because I see. So that guy had to probably spend some time in hell. Right. But I got real fit. Right. I was getting real well, and that's a long story about why I ended up in summer school. But again, it's the same thing. Like later, Hashem, after I wake up, Hashem tells me that dude kept willing you to go to work with him, and then I have to wait in his car while he's at work. I was like, it makes no sense as to what happened, right? But right, he willed me. He was a friend of mine, but he wasn't a real friend. Now that I know what happened in my life, right? So I would end up like in the afternoon. I'd end up going to his school or in his work because he had a work release, right? And right, and then I ended up missing a couple classes. It wasn't like it was torture. Actually, it wasn't like happy time. Like, why am I sitting in this car for hours on end? Right. I tried to explain to my brother. My brother was like, "Well, you just didn't make the right choices in your friends." I said, "Steve, I explained it to you a million." And I know he sees it. My brother sees it, but he's one of those people that denies it. Willfully. Right. Had nothing to do with me. Until I woke up, it had nothing to do with me, but it still doesn't have anything to do with me because you kept attacking me from like CIA and FBI and criminal enterprises that you could contact and give some money to. So it still has nothing to do with me. Until my life starts like everybody else's, then it has nothing to do with me. Well, I'm going to go do something real quick. Stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.